Hey gang, it's Bryan from FXBilliards. Today I want to talk to you about something that's going to be fun and educational at the same time. Many years ago, me and my best friend Ernie Ellis, we used to talk about three things. Street ball, we played basketball like crazy, pool, and girls. And one of our very deep conversations about pool was I suggested that I could spot flaws in someone's pool game just by listening to them. We are going to talk about some of the things that I came up with that you can tell weaknesses in someone's game just by listening to them. It's going to be fun, it's going to be educational, especially if you're an intermediate player or lower. You'll appreciate all of these different things. So let's get started. Let's say I'm playing this 15 ball and I want to get on the 13 ball. The shot looks and sounds like this. Now, you say, okay, I heard you hit the ball, and I heard the ball go down table, and I heard the ball fall in the pocket. Well, if you had your back turned to me, there's a couple things you know. One, you know I hit a ball, and two, you know that ball went in the pocket. But if I had a problem in jacking up the end of my cue, a couple things would happen. One, I'd probably miss the shot at this distance. But two, when someone is jacked up on a follow shot, you can actually hear the ball going down on the slate. Because they're shooting down on the cue ball, there's a couple problems. One, any flaws in your stroke, left or right of center of this ball, when you're trying to hit it along that center line, if you are off to the left or right just a little bit with unintentional English and you're shooting down on the ball, what is basically happening is the ball is curving because you're shooting a masse shot. So it may not be as extreme as that example, but this is what's happening. A lot of you have the eye for a shot. You know where to hit the ball. But as the ball travels down table, it is starting to curve because the back of your cue is jacked up enough that you're shooting down on this ball. It's not a legitimate follow shot. A legitimate follow shot, you're going to be all the way down here, and your cue is going to be as level as possible. So number one, don't jack up the back of your cue. We can hear it, we can see it, and it shows up in your shot. So here's the next item. Player gets down on the shot. They make the shot. But you hear it slap the back of the pocket. Now there's a chance they had to shoot some kind of force follow, some kind of strong draw shot or something like that. But when that happens repeatedly, when you're slapping the back of the pockets on a pool table, even if you're putting balls in the pocket, you're a banger. I'm sorry. You're not playing elite pool if we're hearing the ball slap the back of the pocket repeatedly. Now, the good news is if it slaps the back of the pocket, you put it in the pocket. So that's a good thing. But there's so much you cannot do because you're shooting the balls too hard. Bring down the speed of your ball. Now, the other side to that is there's other balls on the table and we hear that crack of the cue ball being hit into another ball, but now we hear other balls being hit. What's going on there? Well, that's the sign of someone that missed badly, and the cue ball and or other balls are being knocked around on the table. I don't like to pick on the APA threes, but when a three misses, what happens? The entire table gets reorganized because the balls are being pushed around. You ever have a shot you can't wait to shoot, and then your opponent misses so badly that they break up your cluster or your combination or whatever you were going to work on? If you're slapping the back of the pocket over and over again, please, when I come in, ask me to play pool with you, because you clearly do not have a grasp of the game. Now, on that note, let me mention something to you guys. There is an old school way of practicing. And I don't know if you guys ever saw the video of Shane working out 2 o'clock in the morning or something. He was practicing on the table all by himself, and he's banging the hell out of the balls. Now, Shane actually warms up this way. He gets on a table and just slaps the hell out of the balls. Well, there's an old school kind of technique to practicing where, number one, you start shooting some shots as hard as you can just to see what the pockets will put up with. Especially if you get on an unfamiliar table. You kind of line up some shots along the rail, hit them real hard, see just how hard you can hit them and actually make it in the pocket. And I know a lot of guys came up doing this, but they're doing it in a practice environment. And what they're doing also is creating resistance. If I can hit that ball at 15 miles an hour and put it in the pocket, then I can certainly do it at a proper speed of maybe 5 or 7 miles an hour. So don't get confused when you see a pro hitting a series of balls really hard. He's probably not in a match at the time. He's probably working out, and he's either trying to see the limits of the pockets, the limits of the table, or create resistance for his own stroke. Because if I can bang him in the pocket like that, then I certainly can hit it under normal conditions. So be careful of that. Let's look at the next item. Here's an interesting tell. Our blind coach is sitting by the table and he hears this going on. His initial thoughts, because he can hear the balls going in the pocket, is this player, male or female, probably has a grasp of the game. Because you hear the balls going in the pocket over and over again, they probably have some level of skills. But we already know this is not an elite player. Why? Because an elite player is not going to take 6 shots without putting chalk on their tip. I don't care who you are. I don't care what kind of chalk you have. If you're not chalking up as part of your pre-shot routine, chances are you're not an elite player. Premium chalks are not $30 so that you can put it on your cue one time and then not put it on again, okay? They're expensive because they either don't leave a mess, they stay on your tip a lot better, they give you a little bit more friction, whatever the case might be. It is not so that you can chalk up once per match. Now, you can get away with not chalking up if you have a very simple game. If you're shooting center ball on the majority of your shots, it really does not matter what kind of chalk is on your tip. Doesn't matter if you chalked up or not. I can shoot straight in center ball shots all day and night, literally all day and night, with a break cue, with a phenolic tip, with no chalk in the house. But the second your game gets advanced and you're using left and right English, you're using draw, you're using follow, you're using force follow, you're going to the edges of that cue ball, that is where the chalk really pays off. Chalk up, because not hearing that chalk go on your cue probably means you're not that great a player. Let's look at something else. How many of you know this guy? Gets down on the shot. Oh! The grunter. The grunter is probably not an elite player. Anyone who gets upset when they miss an easy shot, a difficult shot, any shot at all, and they visibly and physically and verbally get all worked up about it, probably is not an elite player. Now, I will grant you, there's some guys on tour, some world-class Hall of Fame guys that do react that way to missing shots. And I'll give you 2 things. Number 1, they manage to be elite even though they're doing this wrong. The other thing is, sometimes they're doing it for you. They're doing it for the cameras. My favorite is the APA 4, APA 5, who takes the shot, gets down on the shot, and he takes the shot, and he makes the shot. And then he comes over here, and he wants to bank the 12 ball here, and he makes the bank shot. And then he takes his next shot, oh! Well, yes, of course he scratched. He's not that great. And you hear it. The interesting thing, the thing that I love the most about watching these is you hear it, but you don't hear the sympathetic tone from the other people. because they're not surprised he missed. They're not surprised he scratched. He shouldn't be surprised. His game is not that tight, okay? Don't let your emotions out. Don't let people hear that you're upset about missing a shot. Turn around, go sit down, and wait for your turn again. And more importantly, don't tell your own brain that something bad just happened and now you're going to take that much longer to recover from that miss. I shouldn't be able to look at your face and tell if you just made the greatest shot on the planet or if you just missed the easiest shot on the planet. Don't get exaggerated with your emotions at the pool table, and certainly don't verbalize them. It's not good for your soul. It's not good for you emotionally. And frankly, it doesn't make you look good to the other people that are watching you. Let's look at something else. What ball is this? If you can't tell on your screen, it's purple. What ball is this? If you can't tell on your screen, it's a very dark burgundy. This one is green. Which ball is this? It's the 6 ball. Lately, so many companies have decided that we need to change these balls. There's a couple pink ones. There's a couple that are 2 different shades of blue. And they're different balls. 2 different shades of blue. The commentators can't tell them apart most of the time. It's unbelievable, but there's so many of them. But a tell of a guy that doesn't spend a lot of time at the table is he's calling the shots by the color of the ball. Play the red ball in the corner pocket. I only need to hear that once, and I know this is a guy that doesn't have enough reps. And by the way, when I say guys, ladies, you understand what I'm talking about. Somebody hit me in the comments. We're not all guys that are watching your... Yes, I understand that. Guys is a universal term that covers everybody, believe it or not, even in 2020. So, is that what year it is? It's 2022. Yes, guys is legit, okay? So, I'm sorry for going on a rant, but some people just don't get it. Anyway, you hear the guy call the ball by... I told you it would be fun. You hear the guy call the ball by the color. Play the blue ball, not the 2, but the blue ball in the corner pocket. This is someone you don't need to watch to know they don't have enough reps under them. As soon as you hear the words, play the red ball in the corner pocket, you should turn around and say, hey, you guys want to play for money? Because you got somebody that doesn't have enough reps under his belt. Now, that said, you will have trouble identifying some balls in some sets. But if you're in a pool hall or if you're in a bar, there's a very good chance they're not using a $400 TV ball set. So when you hear people that don't know what the colors represent, definitely that's somebody that you want to play. Unless you're a beginner yourself, then you might not want to say, hey, you want to play for money? Anyway, something to pay attention to. So here's a bonus. This one is not auditory, but it is visual. And when I was coming up, my best friend, Ernie Ellis, we talked about earlier, went to Villanova University. And we would go to Villanova and we'd play basketball. And they had a game room where they had pool tables. And what comes along with pool tables at a Villanova University? You got college students. And you got college students that have some money. So we would go in there and gamble. And that's where a lot of these little things came from as far as not looking at a guy and telling that he really didn't have much of a game without actually watching him play. One of the tells of guys, you can see a group of them that have weak games, is when they miss, and they do it often, they don't sit down. They don't get out of the way. They literally stand next to the guy taking the next shot. Now, if you're at a pool hall and you miss a shot, at least where I play, and you stood there at the table, someone is going to sit your ass down, okay, either physically or verbally, because you do not belong here. But why are they there? Why are they standing at the table, literally touching the table while their friends are shooting? Because they miss so often. Why the hell am I going to sit down when my friend hasn't ever made 2 balls in a row in his life? I'll just sit here touching the table while he shoots. Plus, it's a sign that they have absolutely zero pool hall etiquette, so they've probably never been in a real pool hall in their lives, or somebody would have told them, hey, get your hands off the table. So that's just one of my favorites. You can share yours with me. Hit me in the comments and let me know some of the things that you see or hear that immediately, just one shot, tells you that this is not an elite player. So it could be something as obvious as scooping the ball, but I've seen Strickland do it. I've seen Alex do it. I've seen a lot of people who scoop the ball. I saw Shane scoop the ball in a practice session. So let's not say scoop the ball because a lot of people do that. But let me know what you think. I told you it would be fun. I hope you had fun. I had fun. And if you're doing any of these things, fix them. Fix them ASAP, okay? Anyway, have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I'm coming to get you. Hit the subscribe button. It's that easy, and it's very good for the channel. I know you guys love these pool channels. If you want us to be around, because this is hard work, believe it or not, hit the subscribe button and let us know. That is our applause. And, you know, as performers, we need applause on a regular basis. Have a great day.